Good morning, student. In the chapters of electrostatic charges and field, now we will proceed further. Yesterday we discussed about Coulomb's law. Then we can say about the electric field lines. Now in this one, yesterday we have discussed about the Gauss theorem also, the very important, and the previous classes related with the Coulomb's law. Now in this session, we will discuss the deduction of Coulomb's law from the Gauss theorem. So now you see, yesterday the Gauss theorem was, let's revise these things once again. Gauss theorem here, the surface integral of electric field intensity over a closed surface, or you can say a closed hypothetical surface, which is called as a Gaussian surface, in a free space is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times the charge enclosed within the surface. And the statement was phi E, that is electric flux, is equal to closed integral over surfaces E dot ds is equal to q upon epsilon naught. And proof we have given here. The proof we have considered the charge, positive charge, and here we have drawn a Gaussian surface which is in the sphere form. Here you can say a sphere. Then on that sphere we have taken small surface element ds. So area vector here a ds, which is in the same direction of the electric field. So by applying the flux through this small surface, that is d phi is equal to E dot ds. So putting the value of electric field by using the Coulomb's law at this point, or on this surface, small surface, we can write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square r cap, where r cap is a unit vector which is in the same direction of the radius. And here ds dot n cap, where ds is the magnitude of the area element and n cap is a unit vector perpendicular to the area. So d phi is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q into ds upon r square r cap dot n cap. So using the dot product up to this one, we got the value is equal to 1. Putting that value here, we got finally the Gauss theorem as total flux phi suffix E is equal to q upon epsilon naught. This was the proof which we have discussed yesterday. Now, proof of Gauss theorem. Proof of Gauss theorem for a closed surface. Now let us consider here a surface. This surface you can say, which is irregular one, and now you have considered here a small element ds. So ultimately area vector ds whose n cap is perpendicular to this surface. Okay, and now the charge here which is enclosed by the surface whose electric field is in direction. So electric field and unit vector n cap or area vector makes an angle theta here. That means they are not in the same direction, as we have considered in the Gauss law, proof of Gauss law. Both were in the same direction, but here since you are considering the irregular shape, so the area vector may be in different directions to the electric field, and therefore whatever the area element we have considered here, whose directions with the electric field with making an angle theta here. So for this particular small surface, d phi, small electric flux passing through this surface is equal to E dot ds. So once again I am putting the value of electric field, that is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square r cap, where r cap is nothing but the unit vector in this particular direction. Similarly ds dot n cap, that is the value of, you can say, area vector ds. So already this one we have discussed for the area vector concept. So d phi is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon ds, q ds upon r square r cap n cap. Again r cap dot n cap is equal to, now here you see, previously we have put the value r cap dot n cap is equal to 1 since the angle between them was 0. So cos theta in that case was 0, but here in this case the theta is not 0. Theta is something different angle which is in between the electric field and area vector. So simply we got here r cap dot n cap is equal to cos theta. So putting the value of here r cap dot n cap cos theta, we will modify this equation as d phi is equal to q upon or 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q ds upon r square into cos theta. Putting the value of r cap dot n cap, we got cos theta. So now if you make such a small element over the surface on the total surface, so you can say all these surfaces if you consider, then we have to integrate, because the total electric flux from this charge is going in this direction, going in this direction, going in this direction, in all directions you can say. So total electric flux passing through this closed surface is given by phi suffix e closed surface over integral s d phi. So putting the value of d phi from this equation, we get q upon 4 pi epsilon naught closed surface integral over d omega. So this one, which is called as solid angle, the value of the solid angle is 4 pi. This also we have discussed. The value of the solid angle total one is equal to 4 pi. So putting that value, we get here, cancelling the term 4 pi, we get q upon epsilon naught. So this is again you can say the proof of Gauss law. Okay. Now we will proceed the next one. Deduction of Coulomb's law from Gauss law or Gauss theorem. Deduction of Coulomb's law from Gauss theorem. What is Coulomb's law or Coulomb's force? That is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q into q0 upon r square or q into q naught, where q is the charge, source charge, and q naught was the test charge here. So that is the you can say the force, Coulomb's force in the mathematical form. Now we have to deduce that Coulomb's law from Gauss theorem. Now as we have to proceed for this proof, first of all you have to keep it in mind about the Gauss theorem. So in this figure, in this diagram in this diagram, the Coulomb's law, whatever we have discussed, that is now we will see. So for this total flux, for this charge through this surface, where the positive charge, you have considered the positive charge and the positive charge which is enclosed by the Gaussian surface. Okay. So that Gaussian surface in the sphere form you have considered here, this is the Gaussian surface. So ultimately you can say, if you consider a small area element ds, then again you are going to write the Gauss law, that is total flux is equal to closed integral over surfaces E dot ds is equal to q upon epsilon naught. So that is the value of that is the Gauss theorem or Gauss law you can say. Now since the E and ds are in the same direction, so again the same thing you have recalled here, that is E and ds both are in the same direction. You can see here both are in the same direction, therefore the angle between them is 0. So I can write here phi suffix e is equal to closed integral over surfaces E ds is equal to q upon epsilon naught. Now total flux phi is equal to E. Why E is taken outside the integral? E is taken here outside the integral because it is constant over all the entire surface which you have used for the Gauss law or Gauss theorem. So that is why the E is taken outside. So total flux is equal to E closed surface over S ds. What is now ds? What is here? ds here. So ds ultimately we have to consider the total surface, and the surface area of the sphere, you know, 4 pi r square. So putting the value of this closed surface over integral S or ds, that means total surface area you can say of this sphere. So you get 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square is equal to q upon epsilon naught, or you get E is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Now if the charge q0, that is q0 was your test charge, and if it is placed at a point E or on the surface whatever you have considered here, then we have calculated that the force is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q into q0 upon r square, which is nothing but your Coulomb's law. So dear student, in this particular figure, or in this particular case of the deduction of Coulomb's law from Gauss law, first of all we have considered the Gauss law, statement of the Gauss law, then the figure which is called as a Gaussian surface, which by means of which you have enclosed a positive charge, and then you have calculated the total flux, and by putting the value of the total surface area you got the electric field. And then if you consider a charge, test charge q0 placed at a point E, placed at point where E is calculated, where you want to calculate the electric field, there you can place the q test charge. For example, in this figure the small area element ds you have considered, so you can consider a positive test charge on that surface, then you will get the value of the electric field, which you can say that is inversely proportional to the r square. So that was our Coulomb's law. So ultimately you can say, if you consider the test charge at that particular point on the surface from the charge plus q, so you will get the Coulomb's force F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q into q0 upon r square. So this is about the Coulomb's law. So thus we have deducted, or you can say deduced, the Coulomb's law from the Gauss theorem. Next one,